I'm Sean Lynch, and this is my project for the Heartland Payment Systems breach. And the company profile was they were founded in July 15, 1997. The headquarters at the time were in Princeton, New Jersey, and they were base providers of the credit and debit processing, payment, and check management services. So the breach notification and initial response, the first thing they let out from the owner, Robert H.B. Baldwin Jr. was, "We understand that this incident may be a result of a global cyber fraud operation, and we are cooperating closely with the United States Secret Service and Department of Justice." So that was the first thing he sent out when the initial response, when they announced the breach. They announced the breach after a year, because this is when they found out from MasterCard and Visa. It took a year after it was discovered, or a year after the breach happened. Heartland then notified customers to check statements for unrecognized charges. They released also that statement saying for all their customers to look at their statement to see if there's any charges they did not recognize. And all the card holders, their names and numbers of their cards were stolen. So under investigation, they found out they were hacked through SQL injection, which at the time was the most common form of attack against websites. The owner of Heartland Payment Systems said the computer forensic conducted by the company was uncovered evidence multiple instances of malicious software on the Heartland network. But after releasing that statement, he did not disclose the exact number of identified instances of that time. The owner then said he did not believe the payrolls or micropayments operations were impacted, but we are unsure if that was true, but that's what he said he believed. For the fallout, the owner of Heartland Payment Services, Robert Baldwin Jr., said about 100 million card transactions per month occurred on the affected system for that whole almost year before they discovered it. At that time, 134 million credit cards were stolen from the Heartland's database. The company then had to pay out an estimated $145 million in compensations for fraudulent payments. So at the time, the company said they were going to take steps to improve its network security by adding a quote-unquote next-generation program designed to flag network anomalies in real time to identify possible criminal activities. They also learned that they had to focus on better website protection, considering they said they were hacked by the most common attack for that time, which was SQL injections. So you would think they would already have protection for it, but it wasn't enough. So for the hacker's information, this guy was really notable and not only hacked Heartland Payment Systems, but he also hacked the TGX companies, which in total cost both companies millions of dollars, which TGX is also included in the article which was also provided for the biggest data breaches of the 21st century. At this time, this Heartland Payment System breach was the biggest when it happened in 2009 at 134 million data breach, but now Yahoo, as we know, is the biggest with over 1 billion. So the hacker responsible for the Heartland Payment System and TJX companies was named Albert Gonzalez, who was not captured at the time when he did the Heartland hacking and the TGX hacking. So the TGX company breached 2006 and the Heartland Payment System breached 2008 went unattended, and they did not know who did it until he was later arrested in March 2010, for which he has done, and he is now serving 20 years in federal prison. He is also responsible for 134 million credit cards stolen from Heartland and then 94 million credit cards stolen from TJX. So Albert Gonzalez cost the company for a combined $34 million for both TJX and Heartland, and this is all just through SQL injections. And the sort of plot twist to all of this was, at the time of all the hacking he was doing, he was part of the U.S. Secret Service, working on a $75,000 salary. So obviously the $75,000 salary wasn't enough for him, so I'm guessing this is why he was hacking. And a year after he got convicted and arrested, he told authorities that from his crime spree from 2003 to 2008, He only collected a small fortune of $2.8 million, which he used to buy an apartment in Miami, a car, Rolex watches, a Tiffany ring for his girlfriend, and that was all he bought, according to Albert Gonzalez, from what he told authorities. After Gonzalez's arrest, federal investigators found out more than $1 million in cash buried in a barrel in his parents' backyard in Florida. Although costing all the companies millions of dollars, almost $500 million, he only acquired a small fortune of $2.8 million, which kind of makes it not worth it unless he was a type of person to want to be known for his hacking. But at that time, it was only SQL injections, where now everything is advanced. Lastly, this is my reference slide of both articles I used to gather this information, and that's it for my presentation.